take it to the coffin, just being honest. Never let a manufacture stack like that. And if it getting toxic, tell the boy fall back. If it was back then, I'd be tripping off that. Took a little time just to get me on track. I went from snotty to snobby, got it like immune to everybody, this is stunt 101. Up in the club, throwing this 50s like hate it, the love it, I just can't get enough. Labels keep calling me, I said move if you call me please, or don't even bother me. They said oh my apologies, they keep calling and calling, I keep stalling and stalling. Rookie of the year, my career snowballing. Got it. Made some choices for a profit. That's my logic. I'ma take it to the coffin, just being honest.
Well, we are about a $50 cab ride away from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. Today, we've got an interesting Week 11 matchup on tap between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Jets. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This is taken just shy of the 10. And they finally get to him out near midfield, but he's all the way across the 45 to the 46.
Well, as they say, if you drew it up, you couldn't have drawn it a whole lot better. That's exactly how you want to start the game. Excellent momentum off the opening kickoff.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey, and he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the game's first play, and it's second down now. This defense for the Jets, they played really well in the win over the Raiders a week ago.
And that's not the half of it. They forced 7 turnovers in that game, and I know we always talk about turnovers coming in bunches once you force the first one. But 7? That seems almost impossible, but we watched it happen.
Second down and right back to McCaffrey. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Now Lance on the bootleg. Rolling to his right. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down.
Well, he was looking at a dime formation, 6 defensive backs on the field, so he's looking for anyone to throw the football to, but he didn't have anyone open, so he took off and ran for it, but he came up just short, and that brings up 4th down.
They'll run for it. McCaffrey. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one.
I don't believe that was called right here in the moment. I believe this was called during practice this week, that he was going to decide to be aggressive even on his own side of the field.
Just you mean because it's the opening drive, maybe they had this scripted?
I think that he just talked about it with his team and said, listen, I'm confident in you. If we end up in this situation, we'll go for it early just to set a tone in this game. Now, that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Buying Throwing time to his left. To Lamb, he pulls it in. What a catch. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. 23 yards the pickup there.
Ready,
now first and 10 at the 11. They fake the handoff. Now Lance. Got his tight end. That's complete. That's Schultz. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway, because that's your strength.
Play number 9 now on this pretty long opening drive, but this is 3rd down. Throwing now is Lance. Rolling to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Give the sack to David Onyemata, the product of Nigeria by way of Canada. And his kick here is good. And the Cowboys are going to jump out to a 3-0 lead. And all in all, a pretty decent opening drive, Charles. Pretty balanced. They had the passing game going and the rushing attack, too.
I would think they have to be happy with that start, because you get your ground game going, which means your offensive line and your runners are pretty happy, and then you get your aerial attack going as well, so your quarterback and receivers have smiles on their faces. Now both up to speed, awaiting their next possessions for this game. They can't wait to get started again.
Wilson leading the Jets up now for a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Here's Wilson. And that'll be incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
61,
First carry for the Iowa State man, Breece Hall. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And he'll find Hall. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. They chalk that one up as a gain of 34 on 3rd down.
A lot of running backs in the passing game, they're just used to check it down to them or maybe dump off passes. But this guy, they use him to stretch the field, don't they?
He stretched it right there, turned it into a really nice game. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Let's go.
The Jets at 6-3 on the year. And they come in playing pretty well, 6-3 in their last 9.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory. You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman, because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give him some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And that will tie us at 3-3. So matching field goals on our opening 2 drives.
Yeah, it feels like 2 boxers feeling each other out here in the early going of the game, right? Exchanging some jabs, but none of the heavy stuff just yet.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a two-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. And quickly to the outside, that's caught by Lamb. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up. 3-3, a tight one after one on EA Sports.
Ready.
The Jets will bring in a nickel set as they try to stop this third down. To throw, it's Lance. Got an open man, it's Michael Gallup. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
He'll buy some time right. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first. Okay, so now the question, how did he get that wide open?
Well, we both know that he shouldn't, because from the time they handed out scouting reports before this game, he was circled, starred, everything. Find him, cover him. But sometimes you can scheme a guy open. You put the receivers in a bunch. Maybe you move some motion. Maybe you put them on the backside of a formation, and all of a sudden you've got a better matchup. Every now and then, the offensive guys, they figure a way to get him open, even with everyone keeping eyes on him.
And that's certainly a guy they want to keep trying to scheme open. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
And that's a good job there by the corner. And we do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Now Lance. This is intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks it off. And the Jets are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Boy, that one was in the air for an agonizingly long time.
Just begging to be picked off, wasn't it? It's one thing if you're throwing a ball like that, trying to throw someone open or lead them into an area. But that ball needed to be thrown with a lot more conviction. As a result, it's an easy interception.
He'll get 8 on the keeper there. It'll be second and a couple. On second down, a run with Hall. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. And a loose football. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
As we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our head. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. And they'll run it. This is James Robinson. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
Here's Robinson again on second down. And he's got this pretty close to a first down at the Cowboys' 23. After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on third down.
Here we go.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They go play action now. Wilson. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It'll be a loss of 6 yards on the play. And that's going to bring up a fourth down. Now the Jets will call on the field goal unit here. Made his first. This now from 46 yards away. And this one is right through. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Let's go now.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that worked. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Back to the air on second down. It's Lance. Throw left side. McCaffrey's got it. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
And Lance now to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, obviously searching for their first touchdown this game, partner. And that quick 3 and out, that's not going to achieve that at all. Give victory to the secondary there. They brought out tight coverage on that third down snap.
Anger is on to punt, and he gets this one away. That's pulled in at the 32. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
I'm pretty sure any quarterback will tell you it's nice to have a tight end that can stretch the field. And how about him right there, working in the heart of the defense, and they connect on a very nice play downfield, a combination of talent and toughness to go into the briar patch.
What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or two. Play action. It's Wilson. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now. as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Now the Jets will call on a field goal unit here. This one from 46 yards out. And his kick is indeed good. And they continue to lead in the battle of field goals here. It's now 9-3. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Let's go.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. So we've hit halftime here at MetLife Stadium with the home team, the Jets, leading this one. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he returns this to the 22. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. This game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. He pushes through a would-be tackler to get about 3 yards, 2nd down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now it's Wilson. A quick throw, but incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They go play action with Wilson. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7. They tried to go with a little play action there, but nobody on the defensive side bit.
Yeah, they adjusted in time and in a big way and ultimately got the sack. On offense, sometimes you're running play action just to set up a certain blocking technique. In this case, none of it worked.
After the sack on 1st down, Wilson, this one complete to his fullback out of the backfield. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
It's pretty easy to overlook the fullback when you're making your assignments defensively in the pass coverage game, but in this case, they made him pay for that oversight and picks up a nice gain.
And they'll run the option on 3rd and short yardage. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on 3rd down. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
Now what we're seeing, this is much better from this offense because so far in this game, no touchdown to this point. And what's usually a direct correlation? Very few explosive plays. That's been their issue. Not able to make that big shot downfield or break one off, but a nice game there for a first down.
Shreds him with a stiff arm. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. 25 yards that time.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Now Wilson. Got a man, it's Johnson, end zone. Touchdown, Jets. A great effort there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Jets take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. So the Jet offense staying on the field. They're going to go for 2. Wilson going to throw for it. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. And around the goal line, especially on 2-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They make their second half debut here, and things are looking a little bit tougher now. You give up the points there, Charles, that touchdown drive on the other side. So now it's a 2-score game here. Got to be careful.
They certainly do, and I'm just wondering at halftime if those guys just looked into each other's eyes and realized what they've got to get done and come out a little bit more charged up, because if they don't get some kind of points here, that next drive, that could make this a 3-possession game.
Back to the ground on first. It's McCaffrey. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Lance with a tap forward on the jet sweep. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
And this is just a little touch pass. They send the receiver in motion, just kind of tap it forward to him. Now, it doesn't turn into a huge play, but they do pick up a first down. A nice, consistent gain.
He finds his man, complete. It's Ferguson.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
It's been a struggle for him accruing yards in this game passing the football. So there he said, hey, I'm going to try to chuck it deep, but another incompletion.
Has to be a little bit frustrating because of what you just described. It's been a struggle for him here in the second half, hoping for one big shot to get him out of the doldrums.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty. lack of discipline defensively on 4th down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. Again, it's Lance. And this ball is caught by Lamb. Touchdown, Dallas. From 21 yards away. And the Cowboys are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the 3rd. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And that slices the lead down to 17-10. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Pretty important 3rd quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this 3rd quarter of play. The Jets on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 15. Wilson. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by Malik Hooker. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. A critical error there in a tight game of the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter. Turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
Out of the pistol, McCaffrey. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Christian McCaffrey with his 14th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And an important one that is, as we are all tied now early in this 4th quarter. 17-17 the score. All even to this point as the kick's away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Ready.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They no longer have the lead after that last touchdown, all tied up in the 4th quarter. And a chance for this offense to mount a potential game-winning drive right here. So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And it'll be 2nd down. From the shotgun, Wilson. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. Well, we say it often, Charles, but not all interceptions are created equally, and that is a big one here in a tie ball game in the 4th quarter.
And, Brandon, when games are this close, it usually comes down to the team making the fewest mistakes, and that was one of our mantras back at Tennessee. Coach Major used to say all the time, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. You've got to cut those down to give yourself an opportunity.
82 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And just good downhill running there as he'll take this to the 15-yard line. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first.
Another carry for their leader, and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch victory.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
There's so many definitions of a complete back. I think most people think a guy who can block, a guy who can catch, and a guy who can run. But how about when you put it all together as a runner and you can fake people out, you can be shifty, and also run with some power and break tackles, as we just saw on that pickup.
On 2nd down, Elliott. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
McCaffrey will get about halfway there as he takes this from the 4 down to the 2. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Now flags fly in, and one of the Cowboys looked like he got going a little early.
Here we go.
Things made a little more difficult after the false start as they try again on 2nd and goal. Again, McCaffrey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
On the double.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Here's Lance to throw it. Left side to Lamb. A 4-yard pickup, not enough. 4th down.
All right, field goal gets you the lead here. I mean, but I might want to just go ahead and go for something big.
Oh, come on, you got to kick it.
I mean, you got to be glad I'm not the head coach here, right? The whole team would want to revolt at this point.
So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally, we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something
Heads up.
to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Straight ahead is Hall. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Wilson. And this one too low.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Throwing now is Wilson. Oh, that's going to be a costly one. It's intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys have just about sewn up this football game. When you talk about making winning plays, that is a winning play at this stage of the game. To come up with that interception, huge.
I like how you identified that because most people think winning plays are the offense trying to get it done. In this case, nursing a lead, they found a way to make a play on that side of the ball and maybe finish things off.
Ready.
2nd and 12, and you'd have to assume another all-out effort to stop the run is coming.
You yellow. Hut.
Lance looking to throw. And he's got McCaffrey open, complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Okay, right.
The Jets will bring in a nickel set here as they try to stop this 3rd down.
Set, hut. Set.
Off the option, here's McCaffrey. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. 110 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you watch high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Well, CD, for the losing side, they had opportunities in this one, but big plays just didn't go their way, especially late, and they have to suffer the L here.
It certainly felt like that takeaway, once it happened, it knocked the wind out of their sails, and they just couldn't get their equilibrium back.
So for Dallas, they keep pace for a playoff spot as they move to 7-3. And now they'll have the short week ahead as they'll host their annual Thanksgiving Day game on Thursday. Meanwhile, for the Jets, it's a bit of a setback as they drop to 6-4 now. And they'll have a tough one at home next week against the Denver Broncos.